Hi, my name is Alex at Funnel Science. I'm going to be reviewing the MBR for lead generation using Google Ads, and I'm going to be showing you some things from your video that you sent me and also your website. So I want to first bring up the video assessment that you sent me and talk about a few things here. At the high level, in the last 24 days, you spent $7,800. And over here it shows conversions. And in this case, a conversion for your type of company should be one or two things. It should be somebody calling your business, or it should be when somebody fills out the contact form. So if it's showing $73 as your average cost per conversion or cost per lead. Now, not all conversions are leads. If you get a spam call or a robocall or somebody going and filling out your form and trying to sell you marketing service, those are junk conversions. So not all conversions are quality conversions. And what you're trying to do is it's pretty simple. You're spending money on ads, you're trying to get quality leads, and you're trying to measure your cost per acquisition of your lead and then your cost per sale. So if you spent $7,800 and you got 106 leads, now it's showing half a lead down here, and it's showing multiple half leads. Well, there's really no such thing as half a lead. It's either a lead, it's either qualified or not qualified. That's pretty much it. If you're getting leads for windows and door replacement at $73, that's pretty dang good. Lead cost ranges typically from like $30 up to a couple $100. And there are certain terms like window replacements or on higher end homes where they're talking about like replace windows for entire house or new construction windows. That's going to be a more competitive word. So the cost per lead might go up. Whereas fix a broken window is going to be a cheaper keyword. So you wouldn't want to pay as much for leads. So the cost per lead is a really big deal, especially when you're spending that amount of money. So Google did something last year on the match types. And you have three types: broad, phrase, and exact. Well, Google changed the match type definition, and now pretty much all words are broad match words. And this is kind of important. It's also kind of technical. It basically means that if you use the wrong keywords, you can bring in the wrong type of people or people you're not looking for. So, like this keyword window, just generic window, that could be an automotive window, or it could be a Windows computer, so Windows operating system. So if you use the wrong keywords, you get the wrong type of clicks. Now, one thing you can do is, and I can't do this on this video, but you can click the word and see what type of search terms. So the keywords are the words you target, but there's another level, it's called the search terms. And the search terms is what people actually type into Google. That's a pretty big deal to measure the search terms. Now, at the end of this report, he goes into the negative keywords. And so I need to go over a little bit more. Um, little bit more. Here we go. Negative keywords. So for every one word you target, you need to be blocking at least 100 words. So in this case, he's blocking cheap windows or cheapest, but they're not doing it right. They're just using the word cheap. So he's not blocking cheap windows. So to block cheap windows, you would need to put it in quotation marks. They're blocking the word cost. So anybody that's searching for the word cost of windows doesn't come in. Closeout windows, clearance windows. So Craigslist, I agree with Craigslist and crafts, but if I come over here, I think it shows a little bit more like homemade windows. So these negative keywords are super important because it keeps you from wasting money. But when you do the negative keywords as broad matched instead of phrased match or exact match, you're not blocking anything. So you're going to keep getting that junk word in or that junk traffic. So it's a pretty big deal. So I'm going to go back over here. You have these landing pages. So if you're targeting the keyword window replacements, you need to send them to the window replacement landing page. If you're targeting door replacement or door installation, you would send them to the door page. Now, one thing I noticed is you have this contact form and you have two different phone numbers here. it doesn't really make sense on which number to call. They're both using the same area code. Also, when you're asking for this type of information and then you have this free quote down here, you're not really getting to the substance of what the homeowner is looking for. And you could set up your form a little bit better to get a better response and more qualified leads. So using the landing pages is a pretty big deal versus that third party site, the Lion site, or there's no point in using that other site. Now I'm going to show you a different one. Here's Ohio Roofing Contractors. Here's one that we're running. Okay, and then I'm going to come over to Funnel Science and show you something that's pretty important to generating leads and getting more sales. Right down here it shows new revenue. It's how much we spent, what is the ROI, and the total number of leads. This is a third-party tracking system. These leads match up or should match up to your conversions. And then anytime somebody calls this number or anytime somebody does a contact us and fills out the form, it shows up in this report. And so down here we can see how many calls came in. So this is super important to quality control and measuring from not just phone calls, but are they quality calls or not? So if I open this up, we have the call recording. You can listen to the call recording. We also have a transcription of the call. So in this one, they're asking about speaking Spanish. So you can see that there's a problem here in this phone call. It's not a quality call. And then I'm going to go over to forms, and I'm going to show you another one that's not quality. So if you're tracking conversions but not measuring the quality of the conversions, what Google will do is keep getting you more and more junk calls or junk submissions. So here's another example. They're talking about he's looking for a job. So if we go back to your report here, and if I start back at the beginning, this conversions, the way that you have it set up right now, you're basically tracking all phone calls or all forms, and that's not going to produce you qualified leads. You've got a campaign here that's spending quite a bit of money, but it's not really set up to maximize lead generation. Now, I would need to get connected to do a full assessment, but I can just tell from the structure of this, you've got good ad group structure, but when they're all set to broad match and based on the negative keywords, you're not maximizing the potential of Google Ads. And so normally what you would do, it says you have two campaigns here, and then it shows one for Columbus, and then I assume you have one for another area. Normally what you would do is you would set up campaigns based on your landing pages. So you might have a window replacement campaign versus a window repair campaign versus install new windows or new construction windows. So new construction would be different than replacement. You would have a different campaign for doors. You might have one campaign for replacement doors and then another campaign for installation. They're going to bring you radically different types of callers and different types of intent. So the main thing that you really need to get right to get quality results is have qualitative tracking on your phone calls and on your contact forms. That way, if we go back to here, we can see how much money was spent for the month and we can see how many sales came in. We can see total number of leads. This measures cost per lead, and we're measuring the quality of leads, and then total number of sales and the close rate. So when you get to this level of tracking, and the way that works is we basically install some code in your website, and everything comes to you directly. But when it comes in, we're able to track what keyword they typed in, which ad they clicked on, which page on the website, and then we have the call recording, and then we know what happens or what they're calling about. And what you do is you mark them either qualified or disqualified leads. By doing that, that's how you get the best results from Google Ads. And then normally the results are pretty fast. Normally a turnaround on something like this can be done in 3 to 5 days, and then you start getting way better results.